So, it's common in the gaming industry for companies to try and one-up each other when it comes to dominating the news cycle. One will schedule some kind of event or announcement, and a competitor will just happen to drop something that exact same day to sort of pull the rug out from under them. And that's exactly what happened yesterday, as Microsoft had a new episode of Inside Xbox set to drop. If you're unaware, Inside Xbox is sort of their Nintendo Directs, where they make new announcements surrounding the Xbox platform. And not long before they went live, Sony unveiled the new controller for the PlayStation 5, the DualSense controller. This thing, right off the bat, I hate the two-tone color deal with the white and black. Looks almost like some sort of shell thing that was just put on top of a PS4 controller. As many have said, it looks like something you'd see from third parties, a Mad Catz product or something that would be a cheaper alternative to buying the legit first-party controllers. I do think it looks a lot better with an all-black look, which people have done mock-ups of. Hopefully we get something like that quickly, not like a year or two down the line, because for now, this is the only official look. With the actual design, I was wondering with their new controller if they were going to move more towards an Xbox-style controller like Nintendo has been doing with the Pro controllers, or would they stick to the more PlayStation look? And it's like they did sort of a half measure. The base of the controller looks very similar to the Xbox and Pro controllers, but then you still have like the sticks both right next to each other in the middle like you see on a standard PlayStation controller rather than staggered like you'd see on the Xbox One or the Switch. Just a lot of weird choices with this thing. Now there are a bunch of new fancy features with this controller, like the haptic feedback, the adaptive triggers that could be significant upgrades to the experience. I think it's one of those things that people are going to have to get their hands on to see how big of an upgrade they are. Kind of similar to the HD Rumble with the Switch Joy-Cons. The controller has a built-in microphone, which actually has me a bit worried, I'll be honest. I hope the audio with that thing is of good quality. Obviously, if it's not, people will say stuff like, oh, well, just use your own headset. Yeah, that's fine for my voice output, but what about everybody else? This will obviously be the cheapest option, meaning it's the one most will use for voice chat. I hope that doesn't mean I end up listening to a bunch of robot voices combined with their game sound blaring in the background. So yeah, I have concerns. I think the thing just looks pretty ugly, and overall, from what I've seen online, people's opinions on this controller seemed mixed. Pretty much all the big gaming news outlets, personalities, and that, they all say they love it. Of course they're going to say that. They need to get their hands on early review systems and games to kick off this new generation. So they're not going to say anything bad about it. But in terms of real people, I've actually seen a pretty big divide. Lots like me that don't like it, lots that do. We'll just have to see. It is something players are going to have to actually get in their hands to really make that final decision. Either way, this quickly became the big news story of the day. But it is just the controller, so I thought, Microsoft could still walk away from this thing ahead. They're putting on a whole production. If they just show like one or two interesting things, not even like blockbusters. I know things are crazy with the coronavirus stuff still going on, so I'm not expecting the moon, but something. Instead, they showed nothing, almost less than nothing. The big game was probably this Gears Tactics game. Looked like XCOM, but less fun. The Grounded game, God, I gotta talk about this one. This is one they've showed a couple times now, and it just keeps getting me more and more irritated. Looks like an indie game, and I do love my indies, but this looks like a cheap one, a bad one. The twist is, though, this isn't an indie game. It's actually made by Obsidian, the studio that made Fallout New Vegas, more recently Outer Worlds. Now that they're owned by Microsoft, I guess these are the games they're gonna make now. Pretty much par for the course when you consider all the games their new studios are putting out, which is mostly garbage. They did talk a bit about the Series X, its power, their new additional hard drives, which kind of act like memory cards. And it's like here, you could even have like a big third-party game that people know is coming, like a Cyberpunk 2077, and been like, hey, here's what it's going to be like on Series X. Instead, what do we use to show this off? Minecraft with the ray tracing for the 1000th time. Here, see how the game looks like dog shit? Well, now it's going to look like dog shit, but with better lighting. Wow. It's like, guys, this is what you got. So the show was bad, but it actually gets worse. It gets even more embarrassing because later the Xbox Twitter decides to sort of fire back at the PlayStation 5 controller reveal by tweeting out a GIF of the Series X controller. So sad. Because basically what you're saying, what you're reaffirming here, Microsoft, to me with this tweet, is Sony is the only one who made news today. All anyone is talking about is their controller. Most of you probably didn't even know there was an Inside Xbox because no one was talking about it. If you had shown something cool, something at least worth talking about, that's what you'd be focused on. That's what the players would be talking about on social media. But your show was the opposite of newsworthy. And again, you basically just confirmed it by jumping into this controller discussion. Like, what are you even trying to say? Like, oh, well, we have a controller too. I guess it doesn't look stupid like the PlayStation 5 one, that's your point. But it's like, hey, Xbox, what are you going to tweet out when Last of Us 2 comes out? When Spider-Man 2 comes out? God of War 2? All the big twos. What are you going to do then? You going to tweet out a trailer for Grounded? Is that going to be your big comeback? Are you going to be going, hey kids, don't forget, you can play Minecraft on the new Xbox? You know that game you've been able to play on every system for the past decade? Here's the thing, we are already a quarter of the way through this year. Yeah, we've got the virus going on like I said, but you're still saying these new systems are coming out this year. Sony can ride a lot on their reputation because when it comes to competition with the Xbox, they've been clapping those cheeks this entire generation since Kinect was the future. Oh, we gotta bundle the Kinect in with all those systems. It's such a big deal. So when it comes to Sony, they've been proving themselves. We know they've got games coming. The Xbox was a joke this generation, plain and simple. Games like Crackdown 3, hell, I'll say it, Halo 5. What was that, their latest big game? Oh yeah, Bleeding Edge, aka Overwatch at Home. Simply, this was one of the most pathetic first-party game lineups in the history of the big three consoles. So Microsoft, you kinda need to start drumming up some hype like yesterday. I'm hoping around what was supposed to be E3 time, you're gonna hit us with the big announcements concerning the Series X games. Don't get me wrong, people, okay? I'm not a hater, I want this system to succeed. Console wars aren't even fun when it's just a slaughter like this gen was. Like, it's not even fun to make a PS4 versus Xbox One video, because Sony just dominated them. But yeah, I've been waiting for a big year for the Xbox since this generation started. Now it's about to be over, and I'm still waiting for a big Xbox year. Not a great sign for things to come. And yeah, when you put on a whole show, and I find your competition revealing their controller, a controller that I don't even like, more exciting than what you're showing, I think you've got a problem. Guys, it's time to wake up, start getting serious. You need to start this gen off strong if you want to at least compete, and you're running out of time. Anyway, with that, this video's a wrap. Let me know your thoughts on all this stuff in the comments. What do you think about the PlayStation 5's controller? And is Microsoft getting you hyped to play games like Grounded and that hip new game called Minecraft? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion of the PlayStation 5 controller and the pitiful Inside Xbox episode. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you want to keep the conversation going, hit me up on Twitter at JohnnyZakari and join my Discord, Chiguy and Friends. Link to both in the description below. And as always, thanks for watching.